Another CT Toys MAFEX Spidey knockoff? Let's check him out. Hello and welcome back to the channel. In this video we're gonna take a look at the new knockoff of MAFEX number 143 Ben Reilly by CT Toys. A lot of people were excited when this guy was announced, me included, because I've missed out on the original release, and that means that unfortunately I won't be able to compare this KO to the original. But I will still try to give you as best review as I can. As you know, I have a lot of other CT Toys figures, so I'll compare Ben to some of those and to some original figures as well. If you are looking to get this figure, check out the links in the video description. Those will lead you directly to CT Toys AliExpress store. Okay, let's get started. First, a quick look at the packaging. This is a standard CT Toys box with a design that is different than the original box. This one is also slimmer than your standard MAFEX box. But the new thing on this CT Toys box is that for the first time since they are making these KOs, they removed all the writing from the box. So now we have no names of the character and no logos. I've talked about all of that in my videos about promo shots for this release. CT probably did that for copyright reasons so that they don't get into trouble. So here we have a window showing the figure and some of the accessories, a nice promo shot and a web design spreading from Spidey's hand. We have a CT Toys logo down here. Up here we have comic image of Ben, number 143, 6-inch, and again CT. Side of the box shows another promo shot of the figure. More promo shots with alternate heads are on the back of the box. Other side shows the figure in a vanilla pose and Spidey logos. More Spidey logos at the top, some warnings and information on the bottom. But now, let's open it up and let's take a look at the figure. Here is our CT Toys Ben Reilly KO out of the box, and as expected, this is the same body mold that we saw before on previous CT releases, and that means that it's shorter than the original figure. We'll see those comparisons in a bit, but for now, taking a look at this guy, proportions look good, paint job as well, and the joints are tight and sturdy, nothing is loose. Taking a closer look at the details, starting with the head, I think that this looks really good. I see no issues in the sculpt or paint. The eyes look good, and all the web lines are precisely painted. Here is how it looks from the side and from the back. The neck looks like it's painted in a slightly darker shade of red, but it's nothing too noticeable. Spider symbol is also nicely sculpted and painted, but they did miss on the two spider legs here, this one, and on the other side here, because these should be one continuous line, and as you can see, these lines are not connected, and the same thing is on the other side. There is the same issue on the back, but here the upper two legs are not connected in one continuous line. Now, these misprints could be just on my copy here. It doesn't mean that yours will have the same, but I don't see it as a big issue. I can always fix that myself with a little bit of black paint, so it's fine. And also, as I always say, keep in mind that this is a knockoff, and I am nitpicking and trying to find issues on the figure. The rest of the body looks good, metallic loops in the elbows are visible, and that's always the case with these CT Toys knockoffs. Wrist pieces are painted silver and they look nice and shiny. Hands also look good. They have these three fingers painted in red with the web lines. Here is a look at the legs, and the lower part of the legs has this one side painted in red with web pattern, but you can see that on the ankle joint they left this blue pin that should be red, and it is red on the original figure. And then a quick look at the feet, and they also look pretty good. Let's now take a look at his accessories. He comes with a translucent display stand that you have to assemble yourself. We get three pairs of web effects. First, a pair of these long ones that are meant to be used for swinging poses. We get a pair of longer web shooting effects and a pair of shorter web shooting effects. He comes with 6 pairs of interchangeable hands, a pair of relaxed hands that are already on the figure, a pair of wall crawling hands, a pair of hands for holding the web effects, a pair of fisted hands, a pair of web shooting hands, and then another pair of wall crawling hands but with magnets, and together with those you get an alternate pair of magnetic feet. And to switch these hands you simply remove these, and this is how the wrist peg looks. We put on magnetic hands. Removing the feet is also easy, and we connect the ones with magnets. And testing out the magnets, we can see that they do hold, they do work, and I feel like these are better than the ones that we got with previous Spideys, like for example 1 185. Trying to shake test, and if you shake it a bit harder, the figure will fall off. And then he comes with 3 alternate heads. This is his alternate masked head, and this one also looks good. The web lines are nicely painted, the eyes look clean and sharp. Here is how the head looks from the back. And to change the heads, we simply pull this one off, and here is the neck peg. We pop this one on, and this is how the alternate head looks on the body. Here they both are side by side. You can see that the expression of the eyes is a bit different. This one is like more angry expression than this one. Then he comes with an unmasked Ben Reilly head sculpt, and this looks fantastic. The sculpt is so nice and clean and sharp, and the paint job is beautifully done here. The eyes are really nicely painted, the lips. Here is a look at the hair, all these waves in the hair, and I don't think that there is any wash in it, but with the shadows it looks really nice. And then we also get an alternate neck piece connected to the head. You can see the skin tone and then the continuation of his Spidey suit, and yeah, I love the way that this turned out. And together with this, of course, we get his mask off accessory. This is for him to hold in his hand, and it's again a really nice sculpt. The web lines are nicely painted, so this looks good as well. And to put on the head, you need to remove this neck piece, obviously, and then pop on this one. So this is how that looks, and yeah, I'm satisfied with this. This looks fantastic. And then he can hold the mask with his relaxed hands. It's not a tight grip. You do have to kind of be patient with it and try your best to do this, but as you can see, it can be done. He can hold it, so there's that. And then for his last accessory, he comes with a bonus masked head, and this is the one that I was really looking forward to. This is something that City Toys announced when they revealed that they are making this guy, and this looks really good. There is one issue though, and it's the web lines. The web lines are slightly off center. The middle line here should be in between the eyes and slightly tilted to our left. And same goes for these 2 lines on the lower part of the head. They are also slightly tilted to our left, and they should be centered. At least this line should be moved slightly to the right. That's kind of a bummer, but it's not a huge issue. It still looks good, and from my understanding, this is the head sculpt that should represent Spidey's look from the Sony game. I've played the game, I loved it, and I'm glad that they included this. I always love when City Toys include something extra, you know, some kind of bonus, like they did for Scarlet Spider with that alternate soft goods hoodie, and they are doing it again with this guy adding this head. This looks fantastic. We can try it on first on this body, and here is how that looks. I'm loving it. I think that this head is slightly smaller than the previous 2, and it fits better to the smaller body like this one that CT usually makes. And here is a comparison of all 3 masked heads that are included, and this one in the middle definitely has a different style of design, and it is slightly smaller than these 2. And here is what I really wanted to do. I wanted to see if this head will fit and how will it look on the City Toys 185 body. So let's do that. And yes, it fits perfectly. Look at this. I think that this will be my main head for CT185. I think that proportionally this is much better than his original head sculpt. On top of all that, I do have the original MAFEX 185 Spidey, so this will be a nice little difference on the display when these guys are together. But what we can also try to do is try to see if this head will fit on that original MAFEX body. And unfortunately no, that won't fit because this ball peg is too big for this peg hole. But if it worked, this is what you would get. Even though it's probably slightly smaller than it should be, it's passable. I think that this would still work. Let's now take a look at his articulation. The head gives you a nice range of movement. It can rotate 360, tilt side to side. You can look down this much, up all the way. We have a nice butterfly joint, and this is how far the arms move across the chest. And then here is how far they move back with those butterfly joints. Arms rotate 360. This is how far they move out. We have a bicep swivel, double jointed elbow that bends all the way, a swivel in the wrist, and a hinge in all directions. Two cuts in the torso, up here and down here, and together they give you side to side rotation, tilt. He bends forward this much, back this much. We have drop down hips. He can spread his legs all the way. They kick forward and back. We have a tie cut, double jointed knees, swivel in the ankles, feet move forward this much, back this much. We have a toe joint and a generous ankle pivot. Let's now compare this guy to some other figures. Here is how he scales with the original MAFEX 185 Spidey on the left and the City Toys knockoff on the right, and you can see that this is practically the same body here. They are reusing the same body that they already used a couple of times. Obviously there are some small changes in the design, especially in the torso and in the arms, because Ben Reilly does have these Scarlet Spider wrist pieces, but for the most part these are the same bodies with the same height. And before we continue with the comparison, I just wanted to see if this would work, and yes, this unmasked Ben Reilly head does fit perfectly on City Toys 185 body, so there's that. Here is how he scales with the original MAFEX Scarlet Spider on our left and the City Toys knockoff on the right, and you can see that City Toys Scarlet Spider is definitely taller than their Ben Reilly, which means that this is definitely a different body mold. And just to show you guys, this head will also work with this body. You just need to remove that alternate neck piece. So yeah, this looks good, even with hood up like this. Here is how he scales with Marvel Legends symbiote suit on the left and City Toys knockoff of MAFEX symbiote Spidey. And here you can see again that these two are not the same bodies, because this one is slightly taller than this. And finally, here he is with a MAF knockoff of MAFEX Venom and City Toys knockoff of Amazing Yamaguchi Rivaltech Agent Venom. So there you go, that was my review of the new 143 Ben Reilly MAFEX KO by City Toys. Yes, it's another Spidey figure. I know that some people are complaining about them making Spider-Man figures all the time, but it is another fantastic release by these guys, another great KO for lower price. The quality of the sculpt and paint is really good, and at this point that's a standard for City Toys. Articulation is fantastic, so you will have a lot of fun posing this guy around. You get all accessories that come with the original figure, plus a bonus head from Sony's Spider-Man game, and that head also looks beautiful, even though on mine web lines are slightly off-center. All in all, guys from City Toys really did a great job on this one, and if you missed out on the original release and you don't have this version of Ben Reilly in your collection, I would strongly recommend that you get this KO. For a $20 to $30 or euros to get this kind of a high quality KO, I think that it's a great deal. But be careful when you are buying this guy on AliExpress or even eBay, because there is another KO of this figure out there on the market. It's the one that is a bit older than this one, and it's nowhere near as good as the City Toys one. So be careful not to get that bad one. I have to say thank you to City Toys for sending this guy for a review, and as already mentioned, links for City Toys store on AliExpress are in video description, so make sure to use those. That's it from me for this figure, and now I would love to hear you guys. What do you think about this new City Toys release? Do you plan on getting it or not? Do you have the original figure? And if you do, please share with us how does this KO compare to the real one. Let me know down in the comments. As always, a huge shout out goes to my Patreon supporters for helping me to keep making these videos. If anyone else can join and help, please do so, because everything earned goes into the channel's content. Patreon link is also in the description. Super thanks option is available for those who want to support the channel in that way. A lot of you guys want me to review all kinds of figures, especially bootlegs, so these are the ways you can help me to make that happen. Of course, you are still helping simply by watching and sharing my videos. A lot more is coming to the channel, so stay tuned, and in the meantime, check out some of my other videos. There are hundreds of them on the channel. Thank you all for watching, thank you for being here with me, and I'll see ya in the next video.